Hi, I'm Happy Hippos. Today we're going to have a gold level competitive match. We're going to be coaching. Uh, I'm a GM support main. As a support, I think you can contribute a lot more to a team besides just healing, which is knowledge about positioning, keeping eye of certain habits, uh, keeping track of all enemy ultimates as well as when your teammates' friendly ultimates should be, more or less. You can always confirm if they have it through those character select. But today we're going to be coaching a video, and hopefully you guys can learn something to take home, as well as ways to improve your thinking to get out of your gold elo, your silver elo, your platinum, and really just find a way to climb your SR. So we're gonna go into the match right now, and I'm just gonna critique as I see things. Uh, Take it as you will. It's my first video. It's kind of rough. Just want to make sure everything's working, and hopefully you enjoy. So here we go. Alright, so right now your team comp is good. It's a Winston Diva, Junkrat Pharah, Mercy Lucio. It's a good solid comp, really no complaining. Maybe Junkrat Pharah is iffy, but honestly, it's holding a point, and Diva dive meta is really strong. So, solid picking. Your positioning is so far okay. You're taking advantage of the stairs and where the enemy team is. You're not putting your Mercy in danger and not putting yourself in danger, which is important for Pharmacy. Because I notice in Pharmacy comps, the Pharaohs are usually focused on getting kills and kind of hope the Mercy tags along. So the fact that you're somewhere safe, keeping your Mercy alive is good to see. One thing you're going to notice though is your positioning could use improvement when you're shooting onto the point and getting focused on a kill. You're going to see yourself drift towards the center of the point into the open air with no cover. And not even to secure a kill, but just in general you're open. Which is going to catch up to you later, you'll see.
Behind us there's a McCree. I'm dead. He's behind us.
Your aim could use some work because the McCree's not really moving that much. He's just standing still shooting you. But that's just something that will come with time if you put conscious effort into practicing, getting used to the speed of Symmetra's rockets and getting used to the speed that she can move on the air. That's just coming with practice and with time and with conscious effort. Because practice makes perfect is incorrect. It's going to be perfect, practice makes perfect. You practice the wrong thing, you're going to learn the wrong thing. So right now you're on the ground. There's really no reason to be not on the ground. But just as a rule of thumb, you're open. You're in the center of the point with not really anywhere to hide, like you have a shield comp. And you'll notice again and again, just you're on the center of the point, which you really don't need since one, you control it, and two, you have tanks and Lucio on top of it. So really no need to worry. And right here I think is when you die, yes. This is kind of unavoidable since he kind of snuck by and no one noticed him. If you keep an eye out, through the recording you can see him going, but that's kind of hard to see. A support might have called it out, since supports have an easier time noticing sneaky plays. But, that just happens. It's, don't feel bad about that one. That's a good play. Doomfist overextended and your team punished. Perfect. You guys also regrouped very well, which I think is a super important lesson that a lot of people, even in like Diamond and Masters and even GM, they don't know. They'll play a match and they'll overextend thinking, oh, I'm just going to get my quick tracer bomb and get a kill on their Zenyatta, but they die and they just stagger themselves. So this first point, you guys are more or less solid. You guys are all fighting on point. The communication's good. You guys are calling out, oh, Doomfist over here in this room. Oh, this guy over here. So you guys are working really well together. Really nothing to critique too much about your teamwork. It's a very solid teamwork. It does help that you guys are, a group. There's no hostility or tilted players kind of throwing everything off, but it's happy. You guys are comfortable. McCree's also been on the right side all game. That's something that you could take advantage of later, if you notice. McCree does favor his left or your right on the map just because it's easy to shoot the point, and he already got his thick high noon off. It's okay, it's just if you notice someone tends to favor a side, it's useful information once you ever get in a 1v1 or anything like that, or oh, I'm looking for an enemy to kill, you know where to look. The enemy team's kind of staggering themselves a lot. The Reinhardt's not really doing much of a shield job most of the time. He likes to dive in, and you guys are taking advantage of the fact that he's just throwing himself into the center of your team. But this first point, kind of the Ryan was throwing, as well as I don't think that Anna was getting any value before she switched to Amora.
Man, I had a pretty. Wait, how did I kill that guy? Did
But first round, you guys are okay. Your positioning could use some work. The communication, I like push to talk, just because if I ever scream or something like that, the other team or my teammate doesn't hear it. But it's your preference. You're with friends. Enjoy yourself is the most important thing. Everyone likes winning, but honestly, if you win and you have such a horrible time yelling at your team, it's a game. It's not a professional thing where your win rate is the end of the world. But enjoy yourself.
We'll just hang out.
I would have push to talk in comms, but it's fun is what you want right now. Again, you guys have a solid comp. It's a close point, pretty walled in. You have a close range Reaper, long range Hanzo, dive tanks, Lucio Mercy. Really no gaps to make fun of. Good scatter. You got a knowledge of the team comp. It just helps, to know what the other team is composed of before it tells you.
Mercy's close. Mercy's close.
And again, you'll see, Ryan likes to overextend, and he's about to die. Just from sheer overextending. He wasn't punished that hard because he wasn't focused, but it's okay.
Oh, I'm done.
Farah is gonna punish you guys for a bit. Since you guys are a group, I'm gonna make my comments towards like a group, focusing you. The DPS McCree, Hanzo, Farah. But since you guys are a group, you can just let them know. Since the supports, like Lucio isn't really like too intensive to play, besides just trying to avoid getting shot at like everyone else is doing. A way to keep track of it, like Lucio can see, oh, Farah's flying above, heads up. Farah should have her ult. She did get 3 kills last game and did a ton of damage. She might have her ult. As a support main, I think the supports do more than heal. So definitely the supports, if they want to improve as well, keep track of the other team's ultimates, more or less just logically. Oh, Farah did a ton of damage last round or last fight. She should have her ultimate, or assume she does have her ultimate. So if you see her doing a cheeky play like flying above your team, she's probably going to ult.
Alright, wait. Let's time this thing and go in at the same time.
See now Hanzo. Hanzo's been there, but he just got a scatter kill on soldiers. That's going to give him about 15% of his ult. You should expect a Hanzo dragon soon. One thing you might also want to check more is your own teammates' abilities, because you guys are together and you guys can kind of share with each other what each of you are. See, look, there's a Hanzo arrow that I called. You guys are a team, but if you check your teammates, you know they have little icons showing when they have their ultimate. It's good to know what you're starting the fight with and who you might want to stay near. It's gonna save you a lot later. If you know Zarya did a bunch of damage, there should be a grab. If Zenyatta has his ult, you don't have to worry as much, because okay, they're gonna grab, so I want to play around a grab this fight. So I want to focus down Zarya if she's overextended more than I want to focus out someone else, because if I kill Zarya before she can grab, there's no grab to fight. So that's just more advanced thinking. Besides just we see the team, we're gonna shoot them. That's how you do like target prioritization. Farah, she just snuck up on you. No one really called her. There's like, oh, Farah's in the sky, which is kind of a vague call. So clarity is something you might want to work on, as well as your situational awareness. There's a Hanzo to the bottom right you didn't notice. So if like you go back and rewind, you'll see a couple arrows fly by your face, and you'll see his body as you climb up the steps, before you actually notice that he was there actively shooting you. At a higher elo, you don't get away with that. Just like watch some GM YouTube videos like the Fran, the DPS, or Raksu if you want to see Hanzo or Widowmaker. It's very rare where they don't punish people overextending or not seeing them, especially Raksu or Hanzo. The timing could have been a little better for the Winston, but sometimes it happens. You just you're a second late, or the Reinhardt stepped too much forward and body blocked you. So you're okay on this part. A little more cohesion and communication might help you guys, as in like clarity of the calls. you see, oh, Farah's in the sky. You're not saying, oh, Farah above point, Farah by the second floor, or, the little second floor health kit area, or above the health kit area. You might want to work on making calls more or being more direct. It's going to help you clean your communication up because, your core gameplay is good. You have okay aim. You have, more or less off and on positioning. Your Hanzo positioning this round is better than normally you have, from what I've seen this game. Right now, if they had dive comp, they would, have a challenge you on the fight, but they all have Roadhog, Reinhardt, McCree, Hanzo. McCree's has damage fall off out of range, so the only threat to you is Hanzo. And you guys are holding the point well. This is a little too aggressive, but, your choice. Your positioning is still good, though. And the other team kind of trapped themselves, and your dive tanks did their job and pressured them into a corner, especially. In a higher elo, you'll see people avoid the corners when running away just because there's a corner. You've cornered yourself. Your vision on your Sonic Arrow, good. There might be a McCree trying to peek out for a high noon. You're solid. Decent scatter. You're going to use your ult here. I think you might want to aim it as more of a cut-off because you can tell they're clearly wanting to get to the point to the right. If you just shoot your ult a little bit more to the right, I think we get a lot more impact. Because basically you just cut off Mercy, but if you notice, her beam wasn't cut off at all. So you just made her physically hide behind a corner, but her healing didn't stop. So you did some damage with your ultimate, but it would get more value if you think about they can run out of it. It's not like they're grabbed and they're held into one spot and they have to eat all the damage. They have to dodge it. There's also a trap you're not shooting underneath. It's just good to get it, especially with dive comps. Just in case your Winston decides to jump in the gate and kind of like harass them a little bit. If you shoot the trap, your Winston doesn't get trapped and maybe die. But, you guys are doing okay. They're going consistently to the bottom right every time. They're not using the high ground. And you're taking advantage of it. You're in a great position. But you guys are doing solid. Your positioning here is what saved your life. If, you really wanted to... If you were on the ground and Mora ulted you, you would die. But since you had the high ground and she was on the low ground, she has to either climb the stairs to shoot you or, completely go around the bottom through your team.
Nice. Let's get this Betty.
Yeah, finish that Betty.
But honestly, you guys are a group and you guys are working together, which is the reason why you're winning so easily against the other team. They're probably not communicating as well.
Oh, here comes Mercy.
It's kind of good for you guys, but they're not communicating as well. So that's the real reason that you guys are doing so well. Your dive tanks are going in together. The healers are calling out when they're getting damaged. So overall, your take home for what you want to practice is your positioning and whether your safety is not the big issue, because you're playing aggressive when there's no need to be, I guess is the best way to say it. So your positioning as in your own personal survival, because if you die, you're doing no damage. If you're around a corner and get half health, you can either go get a health kit and then do damage again, or just kind of peek around a corner a lot safer. So definitely work on your positioning and just think before you want to dive onto somebody or make a play. Is it worth it? Am I gonna get more value out of my dive, or is it just is it risky? Compare that risk versus reward. Another thing, aim, that's gonna improve over time. Just put practice into it. Intentionally try to practice your aim. You might want to tweak your mouse settings to make sure if you spin your mouse to the right, is it a comfortable distance that it travels? I have a super low mouse speed, like a 3 point something on the lowest DPI of my mouse, so if I move my mouse all the way to the right, I'll go quarter screen. So you might want to work on either your mouse settings or a mouse pad if you don't have a large one, to definitely get one of those. So positioning, aim, more or less, just landing your shots more. Ult management, you were okay. Your Pharah, you used your ult once. and you held on to it for a little longer than should be, but you used it well. So really, your only drawbacks would be from this game that I've seen. I don't know anything else. Is just mechanical skill that you can practice either in the training range, custom matches. I know that's a good way to practice McCree headshots, but a bunch of Anabots, one Lucio bot. On the other team, you go McCree and have a friendly Lucio, make a headshot only, and practice all you want. It's gonna, because Ana has a small hitbox, she's kind of quick, especially with the Lucio. She either has like speed boost or damage boost or healing, so it's a good way to practice. What else? Basically, that's about it. Communication, just minor things. Make it push to talk if you're playing ever alone. Just because if you have an open mic and someone scares you and you scream, that's a second that your team can't listen to a call. They just hear screaming. And especially if they're not friends, they might be less tolerant of it, I guess, is the best way. Because everyone has throwers, no matter what rank. So you really don't want to give people reasons to mute you, because communication is really important in Overwatch. But overall, not bad. Your team worked together. It's a happy time. So, thanks for sending the video. I'll try to make more videos out there. If you have any suggestions on to improve it, because I'm still kind of new to the video process, that's why I'm doing the coaching. Let me know. If you think my audio should be higher, if you think you want to hear the gameplay more, let me know. I'll be glad to implement it, because I'm just trying to practice, coaching videos. So if you have any suggestions to improve, super appreciate it. If you ever want any more tips or help, send me another video link. I'll be happy to critique it, because I'm honored that people are so happy to send me videos to let me teach them. Because I think I like teaching and I like the opportunity. So if you ever have any more problems or questions, just please comment, send me a message, and let me know. I'll be happy to critique it. All right, thank you guys. I'll see you next time.